James Harden continued his great offensive run last night against the Warriors. He hit a three in the final seconds of overtime, and the Rockets came back from 20 down to beat Golden State. Harden finished with a triple-double, and he has now scored at least 40 points in 5 straight games. Rockets GM Daryl Morey gave Harden high praise last night, saying this: "You could argue for him as the best offensive player of all time. To be able to say that with a straight face and not have it be GM speak or coach speak is pretty amazing. There's a whole bunch of ways to measure it, but he's for sure in the conversation as the greatest offensive player ever." Shannon, can you make that case? Harden is the best ever.
No, he's not the best. I can't make that case. Not even if I'm Johnny Cochran or Jerry Spence, I make that case. As Daryl Morey said, he's not in the conversation. Now, when you talk about offensive players, Skip, you got to take Wilt out of the equation. Because if you average 50 points for a season and then you follow it up with a 44-point season, he has to be removed because those numbers are never going to beat you. What he did, that's never. But as great as James Harden is playing, he's averaging 33 points. Michael Jordan averaged 37 for a season. 37. Michael Jordan averaged 37 points. Kobe once averaged 35. So in my lifetime, what I've been able to witness, yes, James Harden is in that Kobe, Jordan discussion because all these guys were volume shooters. Now, Jordan was a little bit more efficient than Kobe and James Harden.
He was.
Now, the guy that gets overlooked because he's not a volume shooter, but he's way more efficient, is LeBron.
Yeah.
LeBron averages 27 points a game for a career. He's just not the volume shooter. But what James Harden was able to do, and Skip, what made the last night's, like I said, was so impressive, is that, yeah, he got 44. But 15 assists, Skip, we've seen him have 60-point triple-doubles. Who does that? Normally, a guy scores 60, he might have 5 assists if he's lucky. James Harden has, 3 games in which he has 50 points and a triple-double. So we're not normally used to seeing that. But for me, if you're going to have the game as wide open as it is, and you're going to put Michael Jordan with no hand check, he'd average 45. You put Kobe in today's game like it is right now, he'd average 42.
Okay.
So James Harden, he is in that discussion. And as Daryl Morey again said, this is not GM speak. This is not coaches speak. He's that good.
That was well said, and I agree with that.
He's that good. But like I said, Skip, his visa's up to date. Because he be traveling his butt off. And they don't call it. And they begin to, Skip, can you imagine if they call fouls from Michael Jordan like they did James Harden, he would literally shoot 20 free throws a night.
It just wouldn't be fair.
Exactly. So he's, I think Mike, an 80, 82% a career shooter? He would shoot 20 free throws a night. Same for Kobe. But he is in the discussion on what he's been able to do. Skip, when watching win the 6th Man of the Year in OKC, I was like, man, he got pretty. Skip, nobody saw this for James Harden.
Nope.
No, I did not see that. I did not think he would ever be this. And now he's even gone up a level from when he won the MVP. And you can make a case he could have won 2 MVPs. But not this. Not this.
So I will agree with your conclusion. As of last night, I'm ready to put him in the conversation. And that's a lot for me because I didn't used to go that far.
Right.
I will also say this. For this stretch, December into January, these 11 games, or 12 if you want to go back, 12, he's shooting 42% from 3. Well, if he could sustain that, you at some point you'd have to say, yeah, you're.
Well, Skip, if he could shoot 42% from 3, he might average 40 for the season.
He would, because that's unstoppable.
Yes.
Because as great as Steph was through his 2 MVP runs, there were nights when I thought Steph was the greatest offensive player I'd ever seen, because it's just, if you're going to make 40-foot 3-point shots and you're going to shoot 40-some%, then nobody can stop that.
No.
But James is a little taller than Steph. He's 6'5", and he has a little better what I call slither through traffic in the lane. I don't know how he does it, but he just has that. He makes himself small somehow, and then he can go left hand or right hand at the basket, and he's not a dunker. He can just lay it up off the glass, and the whistle's going to blow, and he's going to go to the free throw line, and he's going to make most of those free throws. Because through these 11 games, he's making 88%. Well, if he shoots a whole bunch of free throws, he
shot 27 the other night.
Okay, I got you. But the reason I can't go Jordan is, as you know, and I don't even want to start into this again, Michael Jordan was a cold-blooded killer of a scorer. And when the stakes were the highest, he's really going to score.
Right.
And too often, I've seen James have no playoff backbone.
Right.
You can't trust him. That closeout game 2 years ago at Houston versus my Spurs.
Lose by 100.
Yeah, he shot 2 for 11 and 2 for 9 from 3, and they got wiped out, and there was no number 2 or Tony Parker on the Spurs that night. Well, and then how about last year, games 6 and 7 against Golden State? They had him.
Right.
And James he had 14 turnovers in those 2 games combined. He was a -32. He shot 6 for 25 from 3 in those 2 games. Well, you've got Golden State on the ropes, and you can't close that deal.
And the thing is, with Jordan and Kobe, I think they would have been scorers in anybody's system.
Yeah.
I don't know how good James Harden would be scoring the basketball without D'Antoni, because we see how they opened it up, and everybody can get points.
I hear you. But once upon a time, Harden, Westbrook, and Durant were all in the same.
And Bron took them down.
Once upon a time.
And Bron took them down.
Once upon a time.
Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh.
Don't do
and Ray Allen.
Tomorrow, it'll be Andrew Luck versus Deshaun Watson. Skip and Shannon make